In lesson 2.4, we're going to talk about paying for life after high school. Hopefully it includes some post-secondary education. So by the end of this unit, you'll know your options after high school. You'll understand the value of education beyond high school. That's what post-secondary means. And in great detail, we hope you'll identify different ways of financing your education after high school. Clearly there's lots of options once you get out of high school or secondary school. People can go to trade school or vocational school. You can get training in careers like medical, information technology, or automotive. Some people make a lot of money in the beautician industry or hairstyling or doing nails. Actually, a lot of people make good money doing that. So there's a lot of colleges around here that do that, including culinary schools, art schools, technical schools. Be careful. Some of these schools will have loan programs, and I want you to check out how well students have the ability to pay those loans back. You want to be careful. It's not to say this isn't a good option, but some places will make you all kinds of loans and you'll have a lot of debt. Same goes for some other places we'll talk about later. Military service. There's 5 branches of the military. You can see them here, and that is a great option for some students. You can get very good training from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard and serve our country. Something to be very, very proud of, and that's a good option for many people. A lot of students go to community college, and one thing for you to consider is that you can get either a 2-year degree, an associate's degree. You can get an industry certificate that allows you to go work in, say, a welding field or an automotive field or something like that. Sierra College actually has a great mechatronics program that gives you very good jobs at just a 2-year degree. And you can also transfer and get a 4-year degree from a university. One thing for students to realize is that it's much cheaper, obviously, but also whether you go through community college to 4-year college, your degree at the end of 4-year college, when you get that bachelor's degree from Cal Poly or from Sac State or from Berkeley or from UCLA, wherever you go, it doesn't say that you started at a community college. It says the same thing as somebody's degree who went to UCLA for 4 years or Cal Poly for 4 years. It says the same thing. Now, it might take a little bit longer because of the transfer and everything, but that's something to consider. Community college is a viable option, and look at the fee differences here compared to with private schools and even public 4-year schools or state universities. It's much, much cheaper, and you can get 2 years of that out of the way in many cases before you go to a 4-year school. And some people do real well with just a 2-year degree and go into, say, nursing or go into a technical field like welding or automotive. Okay, something to think about. Most students in our district talk about going to university, and they should. They're eligible for it, they're capable of it, and you should go get a 4-year degree if you can afford to do so. It involves a lot of studying, involves a lot of academic study, and be careful because there are a lot of fees with that. It's very expensive, and you can go into great debt by going to university unless you have scholarships and grants and all kinds of financial aid. And that's what this lesson is all about. Okay, one thing you should understand is that if the cost of college scares you off, understand that a long, long time ago, almost 40 years ago, or more than 40 years ago, there was 28% of the jobs in America required a 2-year degree. That's a pretty small percentage. You didn't need to go to college back in 1973. Well, 2007, that's a while ago now, almost half the jobs require at least a 2-year degree or more. The reason I'm showing you this graph is that the best jobs are available to people who have college degrees. It's not to say you can't succeed without one, but the best jobs and the best options for you are going to involve having a college degree. So it's something to think about. This trend is growing, not shrinking. The more education you have, the more you're likely to earn. There are exceptions to that. There's the successful college dropout or high school dropout that makes a lot of money running his own business, but that's rare. Keep in mind that college is a great way to invest in yourself. It's expensive, but you want to know what's more expensive? Well, not getting a college education. That's more expensive. Your options are very limited. Could be to minimum wage jobs if you have only a high school degree. Strongly recommend that everybody do something beyond high school as far as their education. Let's do the math here, all right? Average starting salary of somebody with a 4-year bachelor's degree from university, about $44,000. That's today. By the time you graduate, it'll be higher. Average starting salary of somebody with only a high school diploma, almost half of that, or just over half of that. The difference is $21,359, and you're probably going to work for 35 to 40 years. Which of these two gets more raises? Well, it's more likely to be the bachelor's degree person. So ignoring raises, just multiply the difference, 21,000 by 40 years, that's over $750,000 in your lifetime. So even as expensive as college is getting, you're going to earn a lot more money on average with a college degree than without. Much, much more than the rising costs of college, despite the fact that it is expensive. So, my point to you, invest in yourself. You can lose your job. People can lose their house, lose their car. Some people, unfortunately, lose their families. If you get a college degree, no one can ever take that away from you. You've proved to employers that you can handle all the details, all the perseverance, all the difficulty, all the academic challenges of getting a college degree. It's a tremendous investment that won't go bad. Financial aid, though, isn't daunting. Where do you start with this? Well, use the experts on your campus. Talk to your high school counselor, talk to your college and career center technician. They'll be the experts who can tell you where to start. Okay, so go here. Talk to these people. They care about you and they're going to help you. The main thing you need to understand is you got to start with this federal aid form called the FAFSA. You've got to fill that in, and you've got to do it, I think, in your senior year early, like around January. All right. When you get done with that, you'll get a student aid report called the SAR report. This will tell you what you're eligible for. Now, what do you do after that? Depending on your eligibility, you want to start exploring your options. Okay, there's a lot of options, and you want to go for all of them in order of increasing desirability. Comes up in 3 words: grants, scholarships, and loans, in order of desirability, because grants are need-based. It's a gift. You don't need to pay it back. Okay, you do need to spend it on college, okay, but if your parents are financially challenged and can't afford college, you might qualify for several grants based on need. Okay, one of the biggest ones here that's a state grant is called a Cal Grant. It's only eligible if you attend a California college, and you can get up to 12 grand in many cases, again, based on need and based on the costs of the college you're attending, but you should be able to get a reasonable amount for that if you're eligible. You got to apply by March 2nd if you're going to a 4-year school. Apply by September 2nd if you are going to a community college. You got to meet income requirements, GPA requirements to determine whether you're eligible, but check it out on calgrants.org. So this is a California only a grant program, and it's big. If you qualify, it can help you out a lot. All right, there are federal grants as well. The main one's called a Pell Grant, and you want to be careful because there's lots of websites out there. Make sure you're going to the right one that's sponsored by the government, not a private company. Okay, and the Pell Grant doesn't pay as much as a Cal Grant, but it's up to almost $6,000. Again, depends on eligibility. And this is only for undergraduates if you're getting your first college degree. The asterisk is that if you're getting a teacher's credential after your degree, I think there are Pell Grants available for that as well. But go to this site, make sure the site ends with a .gov, at least at its core website, its base website here. Make sure you're talking to the government or looking at the government site, not some private companies trying to make money off you. There's other grants as well. Here's just a few. National Science and Math Access to Retain Talent Grant. There's an Academic Competitiveness Grant. Then there's federal supplemental education opportunity grants. There's dozens of these, maybe hundreds. That's why you talk to your college and career center person. Okay, they'll help you figure out what's available. And there's a lot of very specialized grants that not everyone's eligible for. They're very specialized based on ethnic background, based on your income, based on who your parents work for, based on all kinds of different things. So check with them. They know about hundreds of grant opportunities. All right. Next most desirable option for paying for college would be scholarships. This also is a gift based on merit, not on need. You've got to earn it. You've got to show that you deserve the scholarship. No need to pay it back though. There's thousands of these and lots of companies trying to sell you the idea of a scholarship. So you got to watch for this phishing business. Hope you know what that is. That's where they just take your information and sell it to some unethical people, and they'll try to use your information to market you and spam you and maybe even use your credit card information. So be careful. If they ask for money up front or credit card info, it's probably not a legitimate business, or it's a business that's not going to return much for you. So be careful. Be sure it's a legit website. Those usually end with .gov or .ca if it's a California website, and be careful, okay? There's lots of places you can find. It's too much to go into for this survey here. If I just type in college scholarships for blank, look at all the options come up. If I type in FE, oh, females, federal employees, felons, there's scholarships for felons? I hope that's not you, but anyway, type in ENG, English, engineering, all kinds of options. Type in MA, math, marine biology. There's tons of searches on Google you can find. But again, be careful. Check with your college and career center counselor. They're going to be the best person to talk to there. Okay, there's a lot here that can overwhelm you. Check with your expert. They'll tell you where to start with these. But that's what scholarships are. Okay, loans. Many students in our district, their parents make enough money to where you may not qualify for grants, and you may have limited qualifications for scholarships. So with loans, this is what a lot of students do, but you got to be careful. You don't want to be dragged down by debt, and a lot of college students are taking on lots of debt. Okay, there's different types of loans, understand them, and there's different rules for them. A subsidized loan means the government pays the interest while you're still in college, at least part-time. And these are typically called Perkins loans or Stafford loans. Stafford loans has an asterisk because parts of Stafford loans are subsidized up to a certain amount. If you go above that amount, they are unsubsidized. And that just means you pay the interest and it starts now. How can you make interest payments when you're borrowing money in the first place because you're a poor college student? So this is less desirable than a subsidized loan. Okay, you can defer these payments. You don't have to pay right now, but guess what? They add those payments to your loan amount. So if you borrowed $10,000 and you're not making interest payments, you're actually going to owe them more than $10,000 if you can't make these interest payments right now as you're working your way through school. So these are necessary for some students, but they're less desirable than a subsidized loan. Okay, plus loans are an example where they give money to your parents. Stafford loans above a certain amount can be unsubsidized. So notice Stafford is in both, and parts of Stafford are subsidized, but above a certain amount, they are unsubsidized. All right, go to a website here. Notice I've got studentaid.ed.gov. This has a lot of questions where they can give you information. And of course, talk to your local experts on your high school campus to find out about details about this. Okay, there is another option, and it'll give you more experience and less debt, and that is working your way through college. This is tough. There's a lot of studies show that you can't work your way through college entirely. You'll need loans, you might need scholarships, you'll need all of it. But job experience makes you hireable, gives you perspective on whether or not you're going to like the career you're studying for, and any job experience on a resume is better than having none, even if that job experience is not in your major. If you're a communications major and you're waiting tables, that actually can help you in your career. If you want to be an engineer and you're a bartender, well, maybe that doesn't apply so much, but it does show that you worked, you have ambition, somebody trusted you with a till full of money, and so these are good things for you to put on a resume. Any job experience is better than having none. And also, the more money you earn while you're going to college means the less debt you're going to take on. And that's a big issue for a lot of American students. Okay. By the way, a recent survey by this group, the American Association of Colleges and Universities, did a survey of what employers are looking for. They want students who are innovative. They want more than just your major. So getting a job outside of your major can help you. Doesn't have to be in your field of study at college. They want broad learning. Well, that's what job experiences do. They'd love to have it be in an internship or a co-op that's in your major, but it's not necessary that your job experience is in your major. You don't just need liberal arts training down here. You need applied learning. That means on the job. That means working for somebody off campus, working for somebody in a private company that's not an educator or a college professor. The more you can do electronically adds value. Electronic portfolios are something they mentioned. So keep these things in mind. Getting a job while you're in college, even if it's part-time, is highly recommended unless you absolutely positively can't handle your studies unless you're not working. Most people, or a lot of people, do work their way through college, and it's highly recommended for a number of reasons. Okay. By the way, don't take it from me. Let's talk to some recent college graduates. This is a study done in May 2012 of over 400 college graduates called Chasing the American Dream. It's very insightful. Look at what these people said about what they would have done differently if they could go back and do college over again. They would have been careful about choosing their major. Look at that. They would have done an internship or worked part-time, just like we said. They would have started looking for work much sooner while still in college. Don't wait until the spring term of your senior year. The good news here is that despite all these things they would have done differently, the vast majority of them, 97%, still would have gone to college. Only 3% said I would not have gone. Very small number. So despite the challenges, despite the expenses, despite the difficulty of college, 97% of these respondents said they still would have gone to college. It's a good deal. Just be smart about it. One way to be smart is choose your major carefully. Look at this. This is what type of major people would have chosen differently if they said they would have done something different. A lot of them said a professional major like education, nursing, or social work. STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, math. Business fields. Business is a strong major. A lot of people hiring in business. And very few people said they would have chosen these humanities subjects down here. There's nothing wrong with these subjects, but a lot of people said they would have chosen something different other than humanities. Okay, don't be like this poor soul coming in. This is one of the many research fields that's saying that there's a lot of college debt that's just weighing down on people, like it's going to crash and crush the student for the next 30 years. Be careful about taking on a lot of debt. You might have to, but let's not forget, not going to college is still more expensive than going to college. Look at the numbers again. 44 grand average salary for a college graduate, 23 grand average salary of a high school diploma holder. That's 21,000 a year difference times 40 years is about how long you're going to work. Over $750,000 is the difference. So once again, invest in yourself, but do it wisely. Know what financial aid's available. Make college as cheap as you can, but get the value out of it and make sure you choose a major that's going to result in a job for you.